Ready for some confidence boost? Hi loves! This video has been due for some time now in speaking about confidence from the lens of astrology. You can watch in the link below my previous video where I spoke about the construction of the mind and the formation of perception. Bugs, excuse me. However, in this video today, I mostly want to focus on the conscious part of the mind and how that can be observed in astrology through our Mercury placement. As Carl Jung has said in one of his famous quotes, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. To put it in perspective with the teachings of Aseman, which falls on the three axioms about life and reality, one of which is about that we live in a world alone and everyone around us is simply a reflection of us, the parts of us we have learned and we're consciously aware of. Hence, the reflection that we feel comfortable with only reflects back to us parts of ourselves we have already learned about. We have already explored and integrated. Whereas in contrast, those who irritate us only reflect back the parts of us we still haven't learned, explored, nor integrated. So you can also see the contrast of people who seemingly appear very innocent and pure, have secret affinity towards dark or destructive or monstrous behaviors, or the way this would play out in relationships. Someone who is constantly viewing themselves as the victim, as the helpless, has a tendency to attract narcissistic or manipulative dominating partners and vice versa. These contrasting dynamics only live and exist until we become consciously aware that both parts simultaneously live and exist within each and every one of us. But unless we have explored them and we are aware of what we're truly capable of, we cannot integrate them. And when we cannot integrate them, we only end up rejecting them in others by passing on the blame. The same way you can also observe people who have been on the other end of the spectrum and have lived through more destructive behaviors like addictions and violence, and at some point turn into and look for answers in a higher consciousness or through spiritual teachings. This only goes to show that we can only learn from that and those who irritate us. But the way we learn and build that conscious awareness is very individually skewed. Why? Imagine for a moment that we all have one way of learning. If that was the case, then why would we have different senses? We sense and experience the world around us uniquely. Hence, the way we process that information varies from person to person. Picture it this way. We are used to sensing or experiencing the world in a way we often got adapted to in childhood. Even if that sensation is good or bad, without labeling it, as we grow through life, any different sensations we experience are new, unfamiliar, so at first they irritate us. They create a sense of discomfort to that we have adapted to, that which we're used to. To give you an example, imagine as a child you grew up in a very stressful environment where you were abused, your voice was not heard, where no one communicated to you what is going on. There was no rational explanation. So you end up developing a very heightened sensitivity to underlying energies. You become very emotionally sensitive to your environment. As when you sense that there is a threat, you navigate to a way to keep yourself safe. So as you grow in life, that emotionally heightened response becomes your way of processing information. It becomes your way of learning. And let's say you meet someone very cheerful and communicative. Even though that person can carry a lot of charm and charisma, they feel like a threat to you. Their energy feels unfamiliar, and uncomfortable. So the more time you spend around them, you learn more about them, not from what they say to you, but how you emotionally feel around them. Your child self is programmed to assess any environment through the emotional self and look for understanding and safety in the feeling experienced. Whereas imagine you grew up in a very calm environment where everyone spoke openly about everything and you are informed to what is happening in the household and you have adapted to a more rational understanding of the world around you. Then, as you grow up, you will look for communication and that same level of rationality to assess any given situation. And for example, you then come across at a very passionate and emotionally reactive personality, which comes with this magnetizing energy, yet you feel taken aback and irritated at first by their over enthusiasm. You will need a rational explanation and reasoning for their behavior in order for it to make sense to you, to have a conscious awareness and an integration of why they behave or act that way. So, just by those few examples, you see that the way we learn and process information is indeed different, and that which irritates us often triggers us to explore the why. And when we are in our conscious state of exploration and ask the why, only then we can learn and grow in understanding about the world around us, but also ourselves. And when we create more conscious awareness of how we operate in it and what is correct for us, we gain confidence. Confidence from the truth about our place in life, about how we interact and connect with the world around us. And so here is where astrology comes in as a very handy tool to help navigate to understanding our own way of learning and processing new information, which when we become aware of, we can use as a tool in the path to building our confidence. The confidence that lives and is created from within. So watch the full video and learn what is the way you learn, communicate, process, and integrate the information around you, helping you gain the confidence booster you need. Go to my Patreon page and get the full video there, where I'm going to go over in depth for each and every Mercury placement sign.